What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Planet Coaster. This is episode 33 now on the series. In the last episode, we built this new area out here known as Central Park, which has absolutely nothing to do with New York City. Now, off camera, I did a tiny bit of editing. You guys probably won't even notice. You probably haven't noticed since the intro to this video, but for Hyperjump and Ascendance, we did make a nice looking queue here with a couple of fountains, but some of you may know that there is a trigger sequence that you can do on each of the rides, so that's exactly what I did with the fountains. Now, the bottom scenery trigger here is the fountain sort of splash, and then the top one is actually the water spout. So the fountain splash will stay on regardless, but what's triggered is the actual water spout that shoots up into the air. Okay, Robo Eagle 1 broke down. Let's go ahead and refurb that. 900 bucks. You guys, check out our money right here. 10,000 bucks. We're making stupid money now. But what we're going to be doing today, guys, is we are going to be building our first roller coaster in the new park, and I think I'm going to use this area right out here. In a future episode, we'll go ahead and do a similar thing on the opposite side here of Central Park. But before we get to that, I do have to hit pause. We're down to 9,000 bucks right now, and I got to start some research. So, important things that we're going to be needing. A first aid facility, so we'll start research on that, as well as the Western theme scenery. I'll get into more about why we need that later on, but we're going to do 500 bucks a month for the first aid, and we'll do 1,500 bucks a month for the Western theme scenery. We'll let time start to go by here on the research, but something else I need to show you guys is we once again upgraded our staff to a level 3, so they are now all in the skilled category. But of course, with upgrading our training, we have to pay them more. So the janitors are making 80 bucks per month. The mechanics are making 160, and the security guards are making 95. Let's take a look at our research. There we go, just in time. Robo Eagle 2 broke down. Oh my god. All right, before we do the research, $96 to do a refurb, I guess. Okay, let's take a look at this research. So we have the first aid facility. I've never used the first aid facility. Apparently it's pretty important. And we have the Western theme scenery. You guys are probably wondering why we need that. Well, the reason we need that is, if you guys remember from our previous park, we had those really nice looking roller coaster stations. We're gonna do a similar thing here today. So I already built a blueprint. I'll just go ahead and place that down. We're gonna need it anyways. But with this blueprint, these joists right here, these little skinny ones in the center there, those are actually part of the Western theme scenery packs. So we had to research that so we can actually use this blueprint. Now, when you first put these blueprints in, they are a little raised up, a little too raised up. And I can't believe I didn't figure this out until just now, but if you go into edit building and select the entire building, go to move right here, you can actually use your grid snap for the height. I was manually moving it every single time. So this is a lifesaver. We can drop it down to exactly the height that it needs to be. So you guys are probably thinking this isn't near big enough to have a roller coaster queue go through it, and you're right. The reason I made it so small is because I was planning on doing a time lapse here on the actual coaster station build, but I wanted to make sure I had a good design in place. So all this building is a nice little template for us to use so we can build off of it. More on that here in a second. We're gonna leave the park here on pause just for a moment. The first thing we have to do, of course, guys, is make ourselves a queue. So I'm gonna bring a path out to about there. We'll go ahead and select this grid so we can get some nice squared up paths. So this is gonna be our queue for the coaster station. It's similar to ones we've done in the past, but I have this really good idea, or at least I hope it's a good idea, of doing the exact same queue over here for the priority pass entrance. So with that being said, we're going to have to start more research, this time on the information booth, but we can't get the information booth until we research the ATM. So let's go ahead and start that. We can at least continue on with our queue over here. So we're just gonna replicate what we built on the left side to the right side over here. Okay, still no idea if this is going to work at all, but this is where we're at. So I'm hoping I can put the priority entrance right here. So this side would be the priority queue they would walk through. Once they get up the stairs, the entrance to the ride will be somewhere here in the center. So something like this. entrance, I think, is what I'm going to try to do here. That way they enter pretty much at the front of the line. So now I guess we should probably talk about which coaster we're going to be doing today, and it's a new one. We're going to try to keep things fresh here. So if I just sort by price low, you know, we don't have a ton of money. We just have to get something up here. I'm thinking about doing the spinning coaster here known as Interdimensional for $960 startup cost. We would be doing the same station that we've done previously, the station with the left entry and right exit. Now, the thing that I love about this coaster here is the fact that where you sit is actually free spinning. So no matter how many times you ride this coaster, every single time you ride it, it's going to be a new experience, because you could be forward facing down a drop one time, and then the next time you ride it, you could be completely backwards. You could be sideways. So very, very cool concept for a coaster here. I actually really like this idea. So the first thing we have to do here is try to place down our entrance. I'm gonna move this station off into the distance just a ways. Right about there looks pretty center to me, and then the exit will be the same place we always have the exit, fairly close to the operator. And now that we have that stuff placed down, we can go to advanced move, and we'll try to move it into position here. Right there looks fairly level with that path that we made. So let's see how close we can actually drag this thing until it would snap into position. So we might have to keep it clear back here, which is okay. We can definitely build around that and make it work somehow. But let's place it down here for the time being, and let's go into enable priority pass. The entrance, guys, is of course going to be down here, about there, and the exit, something like that, I think. At least it locks into place. That's really all I wanted to accomplish here. Now, it doesn't look the prettiest from the top or from the entrance, but down here, all we have to do is delete this queue path. There we go. So that's basically the idea behind this, is try to make a queue that's big enough to fit both a priority pass and the actual queue itself. And for once, guys, one of my ideas has finally worked. So now that we have our queue done, we just have a couple more seconds to wait on the ATM to be finished. Go ahead and reveal the research. We all know what the ATM looks like. That's no surprise to us. But here we go. We have the information kiosk. We'll go ahead and start research on that for 500 bucks a month, and we can continue on with the coaster. So now I'm gonna do a little time lapse of me building this coaster station, and I'll see you guys here in a sec. Okay guys, this came out a lot bigger than I thought it was gonna be, and also a little bit more ugly than I thought it was gonna be. But all in all, I mean, one of my ideas actually came to fruition and worked. So I'm pretty happy about that. This back section here, how it kind of looks like an eye, I'm not a huge fan of, but it really is the only way we could have done it. Another thing that I'm not a huge fan of is this. I would have liked to have another wall section on this side, but the way that this coaster is set up, it's very offset far to the right. So unfortunately, that's just the way it's gonna be. But like I said, all in all, could have been a lot worse. So the idea behind the path here is to just make a big horseshoe shape. So I'll be doing this on both sides. It took me a long time to get this center path here to be actually center with this whole section here, but finally got it to work. And my original idea was to have maybe some shops or some smaller rides over here in these corners. I think I'm going to reserve this whole space for the coaster. So I'm gonna try not to take the coaster outside of this path area here. Our research did finish out on the information kiosk while I was building this, so we will do that a little later on. Really quickly, we're gonna have to come into our work rosters, select Central Park, and select the station for this new coaster. So now we'll have a mechanic that'll be scheduled to come fix this thing up. With the exit path being clear over here, I do feel like maybe once we start to branch off over in this area, we may have to do a separate work roster specifically for this coaster and whatever else we decide to add on either side of it. But for the time being, let's get in here and see what we can make happen. So under operations, we have a couple of options here. We have lapping, we have block section, or we have standard. We can do 3 trains with 4 cars apiece for standard. Okay, guys, standard. Or for block section, obviously we'd have to add in block sections. I haven't had the best luck with being able to make a coaster that uses block sections that actually work. I know placing them at the end of the track is probably not the best move there. So I think we'll stick with standard for now, and we'll just up it to 3 trains. We'll change the min rider load to full load. Take off the wait time. Min departure interval will be 5 seconds, and we'll turn on don't block the station. Change the priority over queue to high priority, and we are ready to start editing this track, boys. So this is a very different coaster. Like I said, the cars do move on their own. They are free spinning, so we're gonna have to keep that in mind as we build this track. But I'm gonna start with a really short section of track here with a chain lift that's gonna go straight up. Actually, you know what? It's probably a better idea if we do the chain lift on the backside and try to have everything else over here just use the momentum from the initial drop. I think that's probably our best bet. So first, I am going to re-enable all of the collision features that we had disabled. That way we can build a realistic coaster here. And we're gonna start with some drive tires. Target speed 8 miles an hour with an acceleration rate of 4 meters per second. Or is that miles per second? Doesn't matter. All we need to know is that it's gonna go fast. And then let's bring this out to here. Will it clear this direction? Oh yeah, I guess because we're gonna go up, duh. Chain speed on the chain lift is going to be 14 miles per hour. We'll make it real short and as straight up as we can. It looks like we're limited to a 45-degree incline, which is surprising. Normally the minimum is about 60. We'll expand this as far up as it can go. Make this real short, bring it down to 0, and that should put us right at the end of the building. Let's check on this side. Yeah, that's like exactly where we need it. So we have a couple of different types of track that we can use. We can use the H-beam style track. That's sort of the normal style track that you could use. Otherwise, we have their standard track, which actually adds quite a bit more support to it, and I really like the look of that one. Or we have the eddy current spinner, which will apply torque to the rotating cars and sort of spin them around in whatever direction you tell it to. So I think for this first drop here, I'm going to use the eddy current spinner track section here. God, that's a tongue twister. We're gonna set the spin to, let's see, if we're gonna drop it down to the right, we would probably want it to spin counterclockwise. The force applied, we're just gonna make that 10, and this is gonna go down, let's do 60 degrees right off the bat here with a bank of 22.5 and a turning radius of 22.5. Now we'll start to bring it up to a negative 45, change the bank to a 45, bring it up now to a 22.5, taper the angle back off to a 22.5, bring it up 2 more to a 0, take the angle back to 0. How's that looking? That's gonna be the weirdest drop ever, but it's so weird that it just might work. And here we're gonna straighten this section back out. We're gonna do slow rotation with 10 force applied to it again, just a straight 0 section. And now we'll just stick to a standard section of track here. We're gonna lock the rotation or lock the spinning of the cars. A 45-degree turn with a 22.5-degree bank to the left, still dropping it down 11.25. Here we're gonna continue the drop, but we're gonna change the bank to a 0, and then we'll go to the right 45 degrees, change the bank to a 22.5, and now we'll change the bank to a 45, continue going 45 degrees to the right, lighten up on the bank to a 22.5 here, and then back to a 0. That's like the perfect turning radius for that, dude. That looks so good. All right, now that we're gonna go straight, we're gonna bring this back up to a 0. Let's go ahead and test it out. All right, so we have started the test. Here we go. This is the first climb. I think this is gonna be a really good coaster, you guys. At least I hope it is. This first turn worries me a little bit. Got the rotation locked here. All right, well, it's got plenty of speed. This arch right here isn't gonna be in the center. We could probably make it in the center. Let's back this up and make sure that's a thing, because I think that would look really cool here. So that should be centered on that pathway. I think that actually looks really good, but we should probably test it to make sure that that's not going to be too fast. This drop over here is a bit quick. All right, here we go. Ooh, yeah, that's gonna be too quick. Okay, so we're gonna have to back that off and try to do something else. What do we think of that? Does that look any better? Let's try to test this one. Up and over. You know what? That might be okay. I'm gonna send it. We'll start a new test, see if it can make it all the way over here. Up and over that hump, around, up again. Perfect. All right, that's what I like to see right there. Well, not death to all of our visitors, but it at least made it to where we are right now. Now, instead of going to 0 here, I'm gonna continue climbing because it seemed to have a little bit more steam left in it. We'll taper it back off to 0. We'll do a turn of 22.5 to make it go straight again. Let's do 45 degrees, back up to 0. We're gonna do another wavy section here because people seem to really enjoy those. Oh, we still have spinning locked though. Hang on a second. I didn't realize we still had spinning lock on. Okay, back to this section. And now I'm gonna do the eddy current spinner one more time, and we'll go down, let's say 33.75. I feel like 45 is a little bit too aggressive, or we could meet in the middle and go 22.5. Let's do that. Let's do that. This one's gonna be a spin clockwise, then we're gonna go back up to 0. This one will be a slow rotation. Back up 22.5. This one will be counterclockwise. Back to 0, slow rotation. Down 22.5 again, going clockwise. Up to 0 on a slow rotation. And now we'll just do a standard section of track. We'll lock the spinning here for this turn. I want this turn to be a little bit bigger. We'll do a 45-degree turn to the left. Actually, maybe a little sharper than that. Maybe we can get away with doing a 90. We'll do a 45-degree bank here. Keep in mind we have spinning locked right now. Taper back off to a 0. And this side, I'm gonna try to do the 45. We'll do a 0, 45 down, back to 0. One more 45 up to 0. We'll do spin lock again here. Let's go to about there. Take that back to 0. Then we'll do some trim brakes right here. We want the target speed to be, we'll say 14 miles an hour. That's chain lift speed. Decel is going to be about 20 meters or miles per second, whatever that is. This is going to have a 22.5 degree turn, and it'll be going down about 22.5. We'll do another trim brake section right here. And I think about here, we're gonna wanna go to an 11.25 degree, do another section of trim brakes, and then we will do some auto complete with standard track. All right, you guys, I think that actually turned out pretty nice. So take a look at it from the front. It looks kind of nuts. I'm a fan. I think we could have dropped it down lower, maybe earlier on, but let's go ahead and hit play here. We'll say we're done editing it, and we'll get into the ride camera view. Oh, what's happening over there? Oh, never mind. Those are our old cars that we demolished. Okay, this thing's gonna make me super nauseous. Let's do orbit. We'll do the orbit view on this one, so no one throws up. All right, first drop. Around the bank, pretty quick through here. Around this turn. Up and over this hump. I should have results turned on right now, but that's okay. Up and over these humps here. Nice and steady. Up and over these. Slows down a little bit, but gains enough speed. Around this turn. Up and down here. This is the tight turn, but it slows it down plenty. Maybe too much. Yeah, maybe too much there. Let's see what we got for results, boys. Come on, baby, give me a 7. I think a 7 would be the most. Ooh, that's weak, dude. That's weak. Hang on. Let's do excitement heat map. Okay, so it's too slow over here. Okay, that's good to know. That is definitely good to know. Let's go ahead and edit this section of the track. Okay, we should be ready to go now. Let's get back in our ride camera. We're gonna stay on orbit. We'll turn on the test results this time so we can at least sort of see what's going on. So here we go. Actually, let's just skip to the parts that we changed, huh? That makes the most sense. Right here, that's looking good. 45-degree bank. Back it back off. Okay, still slows it down probably a bit too much. We might even just remove one of those trim brake sections in there. Back into the station with a 7.16, a 5.16, and a 2.90. Once again, I do think we could change those brake sections. So let's do that really quick, and I think we'll be able to get a lot better of a result here. You guys, we have 3 trains in this station. This thing couldn't have been any more perfect. And with such a short track, I think it's going to be pretty good. There it is, boys. 7.25, 5.13, and a 2.96. So that means our prestige is a 969. Not bad. Not bad. For our first coaster in this new park, I'd say that's pretty solid. All right, let's go ahead and open this thing up. I don't have any signs for this one yet. We'll add that later on. If you guys can help me think of a name, that would be fantastic. So we're gonna do a little math here. It'll be 969 divided by 35 would be 27.68. $27.68 for the interdimensional. And now we get to change some of these colors here. Let's just chill on the coloring for one park at least. I think that looks pretty good. All right, so the inspection reliability, or I guess just the reliability of the ride, is very low. So we're gonna do inspections every 10 minutes. And I doubt we're gonna be able to get a mechanic out here because the exit is all the way on this side and the staff building is clear over here. Obviously we have a priority queue over here, but we don't have an information kiosk. So we're gonna change that and we'll place it down right there. Now that we've added an information booth, of course, that's going to add our first vendor staff member here. Now first I'm going to set the advertised destinations. You know what, let's just do the whole park. Might as well advertise for everything we got so far. So we have Catherine Irwin. She's gonna be in charge of the information kiosk. I wonder if she has any relation to Steve. There we go, she's ready to rock. We'll change her outfit, of course. Can't have her looking like a peon out here. And no, that doesn't mean she gets peed on. God. All right, so we are selling priority passes. We only have one priority queue right now, so we're just gonna sell priority passes for $1. Ascendance broke down. Let's get a mechanic out there, do a refurb. 4 minutes overdue. What are you doing? Micah, what are you doing? Where you been at, man? Good God. Oh, it's probably because, yikes. Yeah, it's probably because of this whole situation, having the exit back here. So, oh, I didn't want to do this, but I think we're gonna have to. This path is gonna come off of here, and this will lead to another area of the park. So, just to get ready for that, I think I'm gonna add in another mechanic, another janitor, and another security officer all over in this area. Kelly Boone, he's gonna be our new security officer. Eli Benuelos, he's going to be our new mechanic. And we got Metin Miner. How about Marlin Miner? Sounds a little bit better. Has a little bit better ring to it. All right, got all their outfits looking good. Now we're gonna have to make a new work roster for this area. And I think this is going to be, I guess we need a staff building yet, don't we? So we won't worry about that. But I have to figure out what we're gonna call this new area out here. Okay, we will grab ourselves a staff building, place it down about there. Looks square enough. Delete that path, place the entrance here, and we'll use the advanced move tool, drag it up nice and close to the path. About there looks good. All right, so capacity of 3, we're gonna have it set to a rec room just like the others. And to be honest, we should probably add a restroom block out here too so people can use the restroom. All right, perfect. Okay, now we can create our new work roster. We're gonna select that and these two buildings right over here. Let's do East Central Park. That's a good name. All right, janitors, we had Marlin Miner. He's gonna be East Central Park. Mechanics, we had Eli Benuelos. He's going to be East Central Park. And security officers, excuse me? It says we don't have any security officers. What's going on here? Hang on a second. Let's maybe hit play. I am so confused. Maybe it just got messed up. There we go. Okay, that was weird. We had Kelly Boone. He is going to be East Central Park as well. All right, dude, we are looking good. So when people leave here, obviously they're just gonna head back into either Central Park or the main entrance. Oh, we got a challenge complete. Build a coaster with at least 3 excitement. Well, we did that. Ours is a 7.25-ish. Claim that. That's $1,000. Achieve a monthly profit from coasters of $500. Nice, we got that too. So our next one is the hotel size challenge. Have a hotel with at least 2 rooms. That's fairly easy. We just have to research hotels. We got $12,000 in the bank, a park rating of 711, and we have 1,000 people in the park right now, guys. That is super, super cool. But I do think I'm going to leave things off here. Now, if you made it to the end, then you are the exact person that I want to let know about the 2G merch that will be coming as soon as we hit 500 subscribers here on the channel. Now, what I need from you guys is to let me know, of course, whether or not you would buy merch, but what your sizes would be for t-shirts, hoodies, that type of stuff. As we get closer to 500 subs, I will go into more detail about specifically what the merch is, what it's going to look like, what you can expect from the quality and the fit, and all of that good stuff. So you can let me know down in the comments what size you would be needing, or there will be a poll at the top right of the screen right about now. You can click on that and select your size that you want up there. But that is going to do it for this episode, you guys. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.